um, those people that have registered and they weren't able to make it tonight, we've just popped a recording on and we'll send that to you. And you guys who have joined live, you can get a copy too to watch back if you miss some. And I'm just going to admit the people that are coming in still. So as I said, my name's Jessica, and tonight I'm presenting with the lovely Mel James, and I might spotlight Mel so she can give a wave.
Hi.
And Mel's going to be making some muesli bars, which is awesome. We'll hear more about them in a second. And I'm going to spotlight Tiff. There we go. Tiff is another lovely consultant down in the studio. Great. And so it's just us three presenting tonight. We're in the same team. We work together and we have a lot of fun. We actually have around 19 or 20 people in our team. So not all of us are presenting tonight, but so you'll see three of us and we're going to have a great time. First of all, what I'd love to do is I'd love to ask a question of you guys. And that is, what type of packaging do you have that you'd like to eliminate? So I'd love you to pop it in the chat box. Is there something that you're already aware of that you want to get rid of from your kitchen? It might be you're wanting to get rid of muesli bar wrappers. You might be wanting to get rid of, we've got an answer, let's see. So Sue's saying milk bottles. That's a great one, Sue. I was just thinking that tonight as I was rinsing out my, my milk bottle. That's the Fluorio milk bottle, actually. I was rinsing it out and I was like, oh, it's going to be a tricky one. But I suppose if we went nut milk or non-dairy milk free, we could eliminate those. Biscuit packets. Oh, what a great one, Nick. Thank you. I'm the same. We have been, my girls love going and getting some snacks each week. So you love, and they create a lot of packaging, which I'm not happy about. So that's why I've done this session tonight. And next month, I'm actually going to go package free, which, yeah, the kids might not like, but we'll work on that. We'll be making a lot more biscuits and things at home. Are there anything else you guys would love to eliminate? I'm thinking pasta packets as well. I'm going to have a crack at that, getting rid of pasta packets. And how would it be if you could reduce that waste? How would you feel? We've already got a lot of people recycling the soft plastic. So if you're not aware, we'll let you know that you can actually recycle the soft plastics, not in your recycling bin, but you can take them to some of the supermarkets and take them there, and they get turned into other plastic items. So that might be your pasta wrappers, your muesli bars, and those things, you can recycle them. Lots of the plastic you can recycle, so that is good. Not in your recycling bin though, you got to collect them. Another one is bottle tops. So I've got one there, yeah. So these ones, just been doing a research because I've been collecting these in a container and not sure exactly how to recycle them. And I've recently...
Boys Scout group collects them. I finally found somewhere.
Oh, awesome.
I've got so many of them too. So Scout groups.
Awesome, Scout groups. And I think online there's a list of places that take them. But some people are saying you can actually fill a plastic container and put them in your recycling bin. So I want to double check that, but I've seen a lot of people saying that. Robin's saying Ocean Crusaders. Awesome. We'll look those up. And Gay is saying she'd like to eliminate Glad Wrap. Oh, great, Gay. Thank you for sharing that. You guys have definitely come to the right session tonight. We're going to give you some tips tonight. Bread tags, also not sure of website. Yes, Robin, thank you. Bread tags. I'm not 100% sure if they can go in. I think they can also go in your plastic tub with those lids. If not, there's actually a place, wheelchair group that recycle them. So I'm not sure if the bread tags go into making the wheelchair wheels or something like that. So I'm just recently looking into that as well. So we can really get rid of that. Now, in terms of Gay's question about Glad Wrap, does anyone have any tips that you'd like to share? Pop them in the chat box if you've got some tips. Some of the tips we're going to cover now before we start cooking is I'll just show a few of the things that I use. Actually, Sue said wax wraps. Good one. I'll show a wax wrap. And I think Sue has made her own as well in the past, haven't you, Sue? Was it you? This one is a ginormous wax wrap. And that's a good one. That can be used instead of Glad Wrap. You can pop that over a large salad bowl or something. And the wax wraps kind of stick on themselves. So that's how you get it to fold around things. It'll stick on itself, whatever shape you want it, really. You can get them in different sizes. So it's good to have a big one, a middle-sized one, some tiny ones. Tiny ones can cover things like avocado halves or bits of cheese or something like that. Now, Di, yep, a few people have just been saying a greener wraps. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think that's what it is, a greener wraps. And green silicone for putting over bowls. Yep, don't know what they're called. So it might be these things, these ones. In the chat box, you can see how it's spelt, a greener, yeah. At first, when you first get them, they're super sticky. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get the hang of them. Did you guys agree? However, we persevered and they got easier and easier. Look at that. It's silicone, so it's food grade, doesn't leach into your food. It can act like Glad Wrap, and it does stick to itself as well, as you just saw when I was unfolding it. My kids fold them up to store them. So this is really handy. You can use that just like Glad Wrap. Good, again, they come in different sizes, so you can wrap little things as well. And as you can see, it sticks to itself. Super handy. And I also use these in the oven. So if I want to stop something from getting like dry, I'll pop that on top. And these ones last ages. So Brooke says she's had them for over a year. I've had these for many years, this same bundle, so probably 4 years. They're still fine. One of them got all cut up and broken, but the rest have been fine. The wax wraps, usually we say they last about a year, and then you can re-wax them, but I haven't done that yet. I haven't gone there yet. So I'm happy using all the other things. They're great. Now, Thermomix has lots of things too. They don't sell those wax wraps or the greener things yet, but we have some other things that are super handy. So we'll go over a few more of those as we go along tonight. But some of them, I'll just give you a quick peek. This one, it's like a lid cover. You can pop that on a salad bowl or something and they stick. I'm going to show you. I've got an example over here. This is a smaller, oops, now it's stuck. I'm going to let go. Oh, I'm going to show you. Let's peel it off. So this is a bowl. There's nothing in there, but this is the medium-sized one, I believe. And they create a suction, and it's great for, instead of cling wrap, like you were saying, Gay, you want to get away from Glad Wrap, you can just literally put it on top. And I'm now going to lift it. You can see let's see if I can, I'm not going to let go. It's going to fall onto my computer, but it's pretty strong. You can see I'm pulling that and I can nearly let go. So that is perfect for if you've got salad or something in there that you want to cover and pop straight in the fridge. Super handy. They're both available from the Mix shop, our Thermomix shop. That's a few options just there for your cling wrap alternatives. Otherwise, of course, your normal glass jars and glass containers with lids are great, and your plastic reusable containers are great as well. And that way, so I challenge you, Gay, and anyone else who's in the same boat, I challenge you to not buy more Glad Wrap and see what you can get creative with. Sometimes I even just put a plate on top of a bowl and pop the item in there, so you can get creative. And I challenge you guys, just stop buying Glad Wrap and see what happens, and then you work your way around without it. Now, Nat has said, I've used plastic Ziploc for freezing meat and wondering what alternatives there might be out there. Great. I'm going to show you an alternative that Thermomix sells. We've got some silicone reusable bags. So I'll grab them out of my freezer. Actually, I've got it. I've got one. I was all organized. That's right. So inside my thermo server, I was keeping my things in the freezer so I could show you an example. These ones are from the Thermomix mix shop, and they have got Thermomix written there. Inside mine, I've got 3 really large cubes of green Thai curry paste. So this was a bit more full of curry paste, and I just grab one out and chuck it into meals. And these, oops, let's let in another person. These ones, so they've got a little lid, a little stopper there, and you just pop your things in. And I think this would be also a great thing to use if you're wanting to buy meats from a butcher and you don't want the plastic bag. I'm going to start doing that kind of thing. And I think I'll get the larger size for that. I've got a few larger ones. Thermomix does have larger ones as well. But that would be good for buying deli meats and things like that if you're trying to remove those from your shopping as well. So these are really handy, as I said, they're from the mix shop as well. And I've got my curry paste cubes in mine, but I've got other ones in the freezer as well, holding other things. Awesome. Well, let's get some cooking happening, guys, and we'll talk a bit more as we go along about other options of avoiding plastic and soft plastics in your home. So first of all, what we're going to do, we'll go over to you, Tiff, if that's okay. Are you ready? Great. We're going to go see Tiff, and Tiff is making a classic. Actually, I'll let Tiff explain it because I've talked enough.
Hi, I'm going to be making something that I see all over the school grounds, and I actually found a packet at home, just the packet. I was asked, what is this and where did it come from? And I think one of my son's friends actually brought them over. They were tiny teddies. Now, I know they weren't my son's because he's never had them before other than at his friend's house. So it must have been his friend. So we're going to make a version of tiny teddies called teeny teddies. Jess, what was the site I got them from?
It's called The Road to Loving My Thermomix. I'll pop the link in the chat box in a minute.
Yeah, The Road to Loving My Thermomix, and it's a great recipe. And I don't actually have the tiny teddy cookie cutter. You can order them off eBay, but I'm just using a little flour that I have. And it makes a lot, the dough. So we're going to get started. I'll just move you over so you can actually see the machine and what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see the scales, but because this is not a guided cook, I am following a recipe off the internet. I will be on my scales so far so that I can add the ingredients. So the first ingredient you add in is 80 grams of butter. So I've just got unsalted butter. I think it's important when you're doing doughs to make sure you get the hard butter, not your spreadable butter, because then the dough won't work out. So I'll just make sure I get as close to 80 as possible. I got to 82, but that's okay. Then I'll tear it again, and I need to add 40 grams of honey. Now these are going to be the chocolate version of the tiny teddies. I just made the honey version, and the honey version has 140 grams of honey, and this one just has 40 grams. So we'll pour the honey in there, and then it also has some sugar. So you could probably play around with it and just add more honey and not add your sugar if you didn't want sugar in there. And it has asked for 100 grams of sugar. I might add a little bit less and see how it goes. So I've got 100 grams here. I might just do 80 and see. It is my son's birthday tomorrow, so he can have a little bit more sugar than usual for his birthday. So you add your sugar, butter, honey, and just half a teaspoon of vanilla. I've just used the vanilla bean paste. Once again, another packet that would be good to make your own and not have to use the packet, which I've been planning to do for a while and haven't actually tried yet. I might do that this month with Jess. And then we go to our home screen, press the little house, put our lid on, and it will be 5 minutes. We are heating the butter up and mixing the sugar to dissolve all the sugar and mix the honey in. 5 minutes on 100. And speed 2.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks, Tiff. I can't wait to see the teeny teddies that Tiff has made. I made some a few weeks ago and they're very Moorish. We had a star cookie cutter and kids loved it. So it's definitely one I'm going to be adding to our packet-free June challenge. Not that we have heaps of packets, but they do creep in. Let's have a look. We were going to have a look at the mix shop while Tiff's mixture's going, but I reckon because we've just chatted a little bit about the mix shop, what we'll do is if Mel's ready, we're going to jump over and see you, Mel.
Yeah, awesome. I've got a couple of little tips to share as well with.
Awesome.
So as you were talking before, I sort of grabbed a few things that I've noticed that I've been doing different since becoming a Thermomix consultant, and one of those things is being able to buy in bulk. So that's paprika, which is awesome, and also making my own baking powder, which is now in a jar compared to that. So that's pretty awesome. I've got a couple of other things, but I can show you them later. So tonight I'm going to be making some 5-seed energy bars, which are actually just really like the muesli bars you get in the shops, without the additives, and they actually taste a lot better, to be honest. So the first step is to preheat the oven and then grease and line a square cake tin with paper and set aside. And then we've got 30 grams of flax seeds. I've pre-weighed them earlier. And then we're putting our lid on. And then so 30 seconds, and we want to turn it all the way around to speed 10. So using quite a lot of the Thermomix's power.
Awesome. Thanks, Mel. And I love those tips, buying in bulk.
They're going to ground up really fine, like a flat flour.
We can't quite hear so well because we're up at speed 10. But I loved Mel's tips about buying in bulk, and that would definitely cut down your plastic. And it's just paste. I'm going to pop in the recipe there, Beck. We've got the 5-seed energy bars, and the recipe's just gone into the chat box.
Awesome. So that's, you can see how fine that's ground up, and I'm just going to tip that in. So less waste. Again, we're using up every little bit. Even the machine is, its spatula and lid, and so many parts of it are designed to save what you're making and use less waste. So not use less waste, that's not what I mean. Add 50 grams of chia seeds. It says white chia seeds, but today I'm using black ones. 100 grams of pepitas. Quite full, that one. And 100 of sunflower seeds. This is a really good, quick, easy recipe. Just kind of chuck it all in there. 50 of sesame seeds. And then it wants 80 of dried cranberries, but I didn't have any dried cranberries, so I'm doing apricot ones today. So I've just chopped up some dried apricots in there. And then some shredded coconut. The coconut I've also brought in bulk in a giant 10-kilo bag. Thanks, Jess. And a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and I've also brought the cinnamon in bulk in the quills and ground it up myself in the Thermomix, and it smells amazing. Doesn't smell like what you buy in the shops. It smells completely different. It smells real. Teaspoon of vanilla paste. I usually just use the lid. I'm using vanilla extract today. As Tiff said, I'm also keen to try making my own vanilla paste. 60 grams of maple syrup. And again, the scales has come up, ready for me to weigh it straight in there. I don't have to grab any extra scales out. It's just ready to go. And then 50 grams of rice malt syrup. And again, the scales have gone back to 0, so no wasting time with any of that. So even our time's really valuable. Well, mine is. I'm sure everyone's is. I find that's just as important as other things, is being able to save time. I'm going to pop our lid on. And then 20 seconds, speed 4.
Awesome. So that's so versatile, the Thermomix, isn't it? To create healthy muesli bars. I've popped another recipe into the chat box. It's in Cookie Do as well. And I've been enjoying that one. It makes a huge amount. I'll show you in a sec.
I've also got the silicone mold tray from the mix shop that I might try and make some molds in, but it's also just as easy to pop it into a tray, which I haven't lined yet, but I'm not even sure I will with this one, actually. I don't think it really needs to be done. I might just grease it a bit and then just chop it up. So now it wants me to transfer into the prepared tin and press down firmly and then bake for 30 minutes. So I'll come back and do that if that's all right, Jess, or did you want to have a look? Actually, we'll have a look at the mix first. So nice and mixed up, and that's going to be nice and easy just to press into that container.
Hi, so it has finished cooking. Thanks, Mel. That looks delicious. I have made that slice before and it is really nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. We now have to add all the rest of the ingredients and mix it. So we have 170 grams of plain flour. Now, I thought maybe next time I made it, I might try using Spelt Flour. I do get my flours from Raw Bulk Foods in Victor as well. So this should be, I did weigh it already.
And that's a great way to reduce our plastics as well, because you're not even getting the plastic bag that the flour might potentially come in. That's great, getting it in bulk from the health food shops. There's so many around now, isn't there?
Yeah, there are. And they're really nice. They even have different recipes, so you can go in there for ideas. And they do have ingredients that sometimes Woolies and Coles don't have, big supermarkets. They'll have like Nigella seeds for naan bread and weird things like that. So if you just need a teaspoon of Nigella seeds to sprinkle on your naan bread, you don't have to go and buy a whole bag. It's really handy. I like it for that. Now 65 grams of self-raising flour. Half a teaspoon of bicarb soda. And I'm using the rest of my cocoa. It asked for 2 tablespoons of cocoa, and that's about all I had left in my container. So I'm going to test out the chocolate ones now. And then we mix 30 seconds at speed 3, and then our dough will be nice and sticky and warm and ready to roll. Speed 3.
Awesome. So if we're going to mix that all together, does that need to cool down slightly, just for a few minutes?
Yeah, the dough
Okay.
it suggests to cool the dough before rolling, just because it might stick too much.
Yeah. Okie dokie. We'll have a look at that mixture and then we'll swap over to Mel. Once we see that gorgeous brown shiny mixture of those little tiny teddies or teeny teddies.
It made a lot of my big mould. It would make many, many packets. I'd like to weigh it and see how many it makes. There's a nice mixture.
Oh, lovely. Awesome.
So I'll pour that out on my paper and then let it cool down a tiny bit, so then it will be nice to roll out.
Excellent. All right, well, we'll see you in a moment once that's all done. And here's Mel with her muesli bars.
So I'm just pressed it down into this tray, ceramic tray, sorry. And these are going to go into the oven for 30 to 35 minutes at 160 degrees. Did you want me to show you some finished ones now, Jess, or later?
Yeah, now would be great. Thank you, Mel.
No worries. I've also grabbed out these bags that you can get from the mix shop or other places, but these are things you take to the supermarket to put your produce in instead of those plastic bags at the supermarket. So those little bags, I don't really find many ways of reusing them, so I like that one.
It's always handy to have some of them in the car ready to go shopping. And I noticed you've got some beeswax wrapped around your thing.
I do, and I've also got a beeswax wrap that a customer actually made.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So I thought I would show you that as well. So these are ones I made actually back at Easter.
Wow.
They're stored in a airtight container and they are still fine. So
amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like,
they look yummy. And are they chewy?
They're so foody. I actually did quite a few different batches, so depending on how long I cooked them for, some were chewy and some were quite crunchy. So
yeah,
and we did like them both ways. So
and you could add And like you've added apricot in tonight's batch. Like,
And I
add
think I
whatever.
did some with chopped chips as well when I did them at Easter.
Beautiful.
And I just wanted to show you the big container I have of lids. So I've collected quite a few of these now. So I'm happy to have found somewhere that will take.
Yeah, awesome. We've got stacks as well, and I just want to confirm that you can. I want to first of all confirm that you can put it in the recycling bin as well, and then I'll start doing that.
I'm pretty sure you can. I used to do that.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So
awesome.
I just wrapped these up in a little beeswax thing, and I've actually used this the one the customer gave me. I used this to take some bliss balls out to the forest with me one day, and it worked perfectly.
So handy.
Yeah.
Thanks,
nice
Mel.
not to have to deal with rubbish while I was out and about.
Yeah.
So a lot of these recipes we're using tonight I used when I went camping at Easter. So I thought that was quite interesting.
Great. So you did low plastic camping and holidaying. That's great.
Yeah. Not intentionally, but they just seemed to be the dishes we chose.
Yeah. Oops, hello, doggy. I'll swap over. Good timing. I'll swap over to me because it relates to what you're saying about so you've wrapped up your muesli bar into the wax, and then
I love that bag. That's my favourite. I've got one too somewhere.
Have a look at this, guys. So there's actually a magnet at the top. You can, and at the back, you can stick this to your fridge, I found out. But the magnet also closes the little bag, and then inside, and it's from the mix shop. That's why it's got the mix written on. On the, I just noticed it says "Get in my belly" on there. But there's also this the silver stuff to keep it a bit. So it's like a coolie bag. So you could put your things in here, and it's a little brown paper lunch bag. So that's another option for lunches and picnics. This one's also on the mix shop. It's a collapsible lunchbox thing, which is quite handy. So you could put like leftover dinner and type of things there, eat it for lunch, and then collapse it down to take it home. So that's quite handy. It's got a little spork thing there. That's really handy, those two things as well. Now I'd love to show you my muesli bars. I made them a few days ago and been really enjoying it. These orange things I got from Tupperware years ago. I don't know if they still use them, but they came in a set of 4 and they're perfect for muesli bar holders. So this one I might have overcooked it. It's quite dark on the top. But they hold together perfectly. They're yummy, and there's lots of goodies in there. And we've been now taking this in my bag, in my purse, not my purse, my handbag, and that's quite handy. And I've just got the whole lot in there. So I find these containers are really great for holding slices and things as well. As well as puff pastry. Puff pastry is on my list of things that I want to challenge myself to make my own instead of just the convenience of buying it. It's going to be great next month. So next, what we'll do is we'll go see Tiff, because I can see she's got something to show us, and then we'll see some other things. There we go. Ooh.
See, I just stopped. I was cleaning my bowl. Lovely. While I'm rolling out, my bowl was cleaning itself. So I've rolled out the dough here. It's a little bit crumblier than the honey one. It's not as sticky because obviously the sticky had a lot more honey in the honey one. And one tip I had for the other dough, I actually got some butter and rubbed it on my rolling pin because it made it not stick to the dough as much. So the recipe says to do it while it's warm and to not let it cool down, but I didn't think my dough changed too much when it did cool down. It was still able to roll and able to cut quite nicely. So then I've cut out my little shape.
Oh, we've lost transmission. Oh, there we are. Someone might have been calling you. I find that happens. Yeah.
So I've cut out my little shapes and I'll put them on the baking tray and I'll put those in the oven. So there's the difference in colour.
Yeah.
There's some extra new ones that I had.
Did you say you put less cocoa in than the recipe said? Or because
it was just the end of my container, so I didn't measure it, but I would have guessed it would have been close to 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, awesome. Well, they're going to be so
guessed, right. Yeah.
They're going to be so
but
cute.
I do have some I prepared earlier.
Yay. So
these are the honey ones after I've cooked them, and they are really crunchy. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they're crunchy in a day or two, because I find it hard to find cake biscuit recipes that stay crunchy. It said on the recipe that it will.
I found mine did. We made tiny stars, and they were tiny, and they were like we only cooked them for a few minutes, and they stayed crunchy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why mine are quite dark in some of them, because it said cook them a little bit longer if you like crunchy. So I did cook mine for a little bit longer than it said. For this size, it took about 8 minutes, maybe a little bit over. But you can see, like this isn't even half of what I've made. There's a lot more over there on baking paper resting.
It makes a huge amount, doesn't it? And we should let you keep going, because did you want to say that last sort of a point that's quite important about this dough, and then we'll let you get on with that?
About the dough, about staying warm.
Yeah, like I found when I did the chocolate batch last time, once you do this first sort of cut out, and the second batch, the second round, it was harder to roll it out, and they recommended to put it in. Yeah. So
I was thinking I could even put it back in my bowl to warm it up if I hadn't washed my bowl already.
If it's sticking together, it's fine.
Yeah, it still seems warm enough.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, it did say in the recipe, if it cools down a little bit, you can roll it in a bowl, put it in a bowl and put it in the microwave for a few seconds just to warm it back up. Because then it will be, you can see that it's sort of crumbling as it's drying, getting drier, I guess.
Well, we'll let you concentrate on doing those. Thank you so much for showing us how easy it is to make something and avoid the packets. Those individual snack packets are, something we can get rid of easily. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I reckon it must be back to me. We'll do just a sec. Okay. So I'm going to make a dip, because how many of you guys buy dips? Even if we have a Thermomix, sometimes we can still buy dips, right? Does anyone still have a dip that they love buying still, or have you made any in your Thermomix or other food processor if you don't have a Thermomix? Is there anyone who he's still buying dips? And if so, which one? Love to hear. Tonight I'm going to make some dips, and I'm going to show you something as well, which I might show you first before we start the dip, because I grabbed it out of the freezer and I don't want it to start melting. So I'll show you a bit of a surprise. I did this last night. So last night I started a batch of yogurt, and then you got to let your yogurt cool down. And then while it was cooling down, I grabbed my second bowl and started making ice cream. So I want to show you it. So I made it last night and then froze it and then re-whipped it and popped it in this nice pot container, which I believe is also available from the Mix Shop. Yep, it's got the Mix Shop logo on it. And look at that colour in there, chocolate ice cream. I'm just going to see if it's firmed up enough. Let's have a look. Yep, it's firmed up because I re-whizzed it. Look at that. It is so yummy. This is the chocolate ice cream from the basic cookbook. So you'll all have this one. It's really good. I feel like tasting it for you. If you haven't made it, give it a go. Super easy. I was so happy that I made that last night and we can enjoy that tonight. Very rich, and I do recommend doing the second whip because it will aerate it some more. I'll pop that back in the freezer in a sec. And I promised that I'd show you some yogurt. That was what we were going to talk about too. Do you want to hear something funny? Do you want to hear something? So last night I told you I was doing the yogurt and then I let it cool down. And then what you're supposed to do is pop your yogurt culture into your milk once it's cooled down so that you don't kill off the milk, the yogurt cultures. Anyway, I fell asleep and I didn't get to do that next step in time. So I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh no, the yogurt's not done. I won't be ready for the class. So I just continued where I left off and it still worked. So probably not as well as if I had have done it like as I was supposed to, but it still worked. So there is one of my jars of yogurt. Yummy. And yeah, I made a few jars of this and I cooked the yogurt in the Thermomix bowl. So that's the one that I did last night. And we have been buying yogurt, the Paris Creek yogurt. I think it's a litre. We've been buying that. So we got stacks of the containers left and that's something I want to stop doing. So I'm going to start making yogurt again and love to hear if you guys are also making it. Now, back to the dip. Sorry, just wanted to do that and we'll get those put away into the fridge. So Kylie said the only one I still buy is the French onion because I've never found a recipe the same onion. All right. I know, I love that dip as well when I was a teenager and I'm going to try and replicate it. We're not doing it tonight, but Kylie, I know you've got a TM6, so try doing the caramelized onions in the TM6 and then adding some cream cheese. Heard a few people doing that. Otherwise, I'm going to look up that recipe and try and find one because I used to love French onion dip too. Brooke is saying, not a dip, but I only make pesto now. Never buy it. Yay, Brooke. Always taste a million times better. Can you link the recipes, please, after? Certainly will. And I'll email everyone the links to the recipes as well. Now, what I'm going to do is just bring you close to the Thermi. Place spotlight. There we go. So we're just going to make a dip, and what we're going to do is show you close up in case you haven't seen the TM6. There we go. So I've gone into my week. I have popped let's have a look. So I have popped the dip in. So we're doing the capsicum and sun-dried tomato dip. And this is one of my favorites, and I believe it is in the basic cookbook if you'd like to do it. So you can actually see the ingredients and the prep steps. So we'll just press start cooking. And I've got some Parmesan. Now, if you're not wanting dairy, then you could use nutritional flakes in this instead, which you can get from your health food shop. I am putting some Parmesan in and I've cubed it. So make sure you cube your cheese when you're grating your cheese. A garlic clove. So I've just got one. I've bought lots of garlic from the farmer's market when it was in season, and I've just processed them and frozen them. So that was a frozen garlic clove. Let's just whiz that up. Alrighty, so that was definitely a powerful mix up from Thermomix, all that. Now, for those who don't have a Thermomix, there might be some of you on tonight that don't. That's what we've just done to that Parmesan and the garlic, and it's smelling absolutely delicious. Now we've got, let's see if you can see. Okay, I'll bring you super close. So now we've got to pop in some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm just going to hit tear. And I'm just popping in olives. I had a few olives left and I'm going to whack those in instead because I didn't have any sun-dried tomatoes. So you can just make do with what you've got. And then some capsicum. I've just chopped up the capsicum roughly. I put in about 1 capsicum actually. And some cashews. This, like Mel, I buy cashews in bulk. I actually buy them in 5 kilo bags. That would surely decrease some of the plastic. But you're definitely buying in bulk from somewhere like Goodies and Grains or somewhere would be even better because you could put them in a paper bag. Now, this was where I was going to talk about bulk originally. We buy our olive oil in bulk in 2 litres. We usually, what's the word? We usually pour it into another jar. Can't remember the word. Decant it into another container. But for tonight, I wanted to show you this is a great way getting your olive oil in a glass jar. We get that from the farmer's market in the hills. A bit of vinegar. I always just use apple cider vinegar. Feels like it's a bit healthier. So I'm just going to pop some of that in. Yep. And so I don't think I've done this dip without the sun-dried tomatoes and having olives. Oops, I need the lid on. I just want to scrape down that cheese a little. There we go. We need the lid on because we're going to do a turbo. We'll just turbo that for a second. And maybe one more. And you can have a look. I reckon that might do for me. That'll do. I don't think I've got a bowl ready. I'll use one of these bowls. That makes sense. Okay. Oh, that's smelling amazing. It's not as red as usual. Let's see. That's I reckon that's okay for what I want. You could do that a little bit more if you wanted it smoother. For me, I'm happy with that. I'll probably add that to the side of some salads and things. I'll show you again. Looks delicious. It smells delicious. And I'm going to pop that in the bowl. Now, what I do often, I'll get the rest out. So that makes a really large quantity. There's still stacks in there. If you need some tips on using your spatula to get all the goodies out of your Thermomix, ask your consultant because we love cooking with you. And if you'd like to gain more tips in your home, we can cook some things you haven't done before, and you could learn lots and have fun, eat some yummy food. So let your consultant know if you would like to book a cooking session with them. One of the other great things that can happen at a cooking session is you can learn things and have fun, but you can also grab host rewards, which is a variety of things. Ask your consultant if you'd like to know more. But one of them is this Thermomat set. So we've got one oven mat, which is a great way to save plastics. We've got that one instead of, it'll save baking paper, sorry. And this one is amazing for rolling out doughs and pizzas, pizza dough and bread doughs and things. And ask your consultant if you'd like to see that in use. So just for inviting 2 others, so it's you plus 2, you can grab a host reward for $25 instead of, I think this one's worth about $90 for both of them. That's a big bargain. Or you might grab a thermoserver or something like that. So this one will keep your food piping hot for 2 hours. This is the oval one. We've got some other ones as well, a yogurt one. So if you've been around for a while, you might not have seen the white one. Perfect for desserts. Look at the clear lid. And perfect to cook yogurt up in your varoma. So if you'd like to give that a go, talk to your consultant. And it's the last month, June's the last month to get hold of our mini ones. That's also a set of 2 host reward. And we will go back to Tiff when she's ready, because she's going to show us a drink. And I was going to say, sorry, with my dip, I usually store it in a jar and I usually label the jar. This would be great as a dressing for salad. You could just add some lemon juice and olive oil to thin it out. That would go beautifully through some quinoa and roast veggies and things. So I usually pop my dips into a jar, and this is my pesto. So we had somebody, who was it? We had Brooke talking about pesto, and this is we use some basil. You could use coriander and parsley at this time of the year if you want. But yeah, this is another great way to store your dips, and we've avoided the plastic tub of those dips from the shop, so that is really good. Now Tiff has a newborn baby, so she might be with, oh, she's back. Are you all good for the drink, Tiff? I think she is. We'll go see Tiff, and then I'm going to show you these baking trays too, which is another way to save baking paper.
Yeah, so the dough for the chocolate teeny teddies, I did put it back in the microwave. I rolled it for 10 seconds or less would have been enough, and it rolls out beautifully. It actually was better than when I started rolling it out. So the warmer the better for the chocolate one, but the honey one, let it cool for a bit because it gets too sticky. So I've actually got my phone plugged in, so hopefully you can still see from there. I'm going to go to my recently cooked to bring up a drink that we're going to make. There's a breakfast drink that all the kids like to eat, and to save on plastics, we're going to make it. So it's called the Grab and Go breakfast drink. It's a little bit like an up and go. I'm going to restart. And so it has, you can have a look through the ingredients. It's got your milk of choice, eggs, water. It says monk fruit sweetener. I'm going to use maple syrup and vanilla bean extract. So it says you can sterilize some jars and put them aside to keep it in. They keep for, I think it said, let's say it in the tips. I can go back. Go down to my tips. And it says 5 days in the fridge. Just shake it before serving. So you can have a few jars in your fridge and then just give them to your children to drink on the way to school, or if they want to take it to school, that would be great. So 300 grams of, I'm going to use coconut milk, and just to highlight another package that we could have made, the Thermomix has a really good recipe for coconut milk. I just, with my newborn, didn't have time to make that as well. So we'll put in 300 grams. I think I'm going to be drinking a lot of this drink. I don't know if anyone likes the coconut milk as much as I do, that's all. I'm trying to go off dairy to see if it will help with my son's colic. So that's why I'm using the coconut milk. We'll see how it tastes. 150 of water. There is a lot of water in coconut milk, so you could add less if you didn't like the texture of this. I just haven't tried it before. 150, almost there. Next, 6 eggs. My husband cracked all the 6 eggs for me, so I can just add them in, which makes it a lot quicker. Very handy. The monk fruit sweetener you can get in a bottle like this as a liquid as well. I think Woolworths sell it, but I don't have any, so I'm using maple syrup. 40 grams. I love maple syrup. I went a bit over. That's okay. It can be a little bit sweeter. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean extract. Once again, I just squeeze this one. I just have a guess at how much that is. And then we put our lid on, and our measuring cup is in the top, which it's telling me to do. Press next. 11 minutes, 70 degrees, and speed 3. I'll start cooking. Jess?
Awesome. That is so cool. I was wondering if the eggs were going to be cooked. I think this recipe, because Tiff has jumped in because one of our other presenters couldn't help tonight. And so Tiff's jumped in about an hour before we started and volunteered to do this dish. Thank you, Tiff. And the funny thing is I've just had a look, and it was actually a different dish that we were going to be showing, which is fine. But I hope you love that egg dish. And what we'll do is
I've actually made that one as well that Tiff's making with all the eggs.
With all the eggs, it's got good ratings.
And you can actually turn it into ice cream if you don't use it all.
Oh,
I read that in the tips, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, because I made it where I work. So.
Oh, that is so good. Sorry, I'm trying to spotlight you, Mel, but
that's okay. You don't need to do that.
I was also oops, we'll just let this person in. They must have dropped out. I was also sharing this. That's why it wouldn't let me spotlight you. So this dish is similar to what Tiff's doing, but it's called Breakfast on the Go. And I believe I've popped both links into the chat box. But you can see this one's slightly different. Doesn't have the eggs, but that other one sounds nice, a bit like an eggnog and very full of protein, wouldn't it? This one's slightly different if you're just wanting an instant one. So that's a great little one there. And let's have a look. We're pretty much nearly at 8 o'clock. I was going to show you the mix shop, so we'll have a quick look there for those that haven't seen the mix shop.
Is there a filter? Is there a filter on yours to find that one? Because this is all that came up for me when I typed that in.
Yeah, mine is. I've got my filter set to all English. So yeah, that one. Oh, just a sec. Let's have a look.
I think it's because it's called Breakfast on the Go.
So it's Meals in a Flash, Australia. Yeah. But that's okay.
Really
sorry, Tiff.
That's okay. I should have checked.
No. You asked me, is this the one? I said, yeah, I think so. They look very similar. So let's have a look at the one you're doing. You're doing grab and go. So yeah, it's they're pretty much the same idea. We were trying to replicate something you could grab and go quickly and not buy those little packets that some people buy. So this is the one that Tiff's doing, and I hope that's yummy, Tiff. I'm sure it will be. It's got Oh, hopefully you got lots of eggs and haven't run short on eggs now. What I wanted to show you guys is in the mix shop. Let's have a look. Accessories, eco-friendly. Let's click on there. So I did have a stack to show you, a stack of different things as well. But just so you know, some of the things we've been talking about are on here. We've got those Ziploc pouches in different sizes. These oven tray liners are amazing. And look, they're from $9.95, great price. And that will save baking paper. Highly recommend those. Our produce bags. We've got little drink tumblers, water bottles, smoothies out of stock. That's a shame. There's that brown lunch bag, thermo flask. One of my favourites, the bamboo glass tumbler. You've got your eco brush and oil sprayer, which is awesome. Lots of, there's those airtight lid covers. So, and you can get the bundle there. Lots of great things to look at. There's storage items as well. But yeah, just have a look at Mix Shop. Oh, our yogurt jars and spice jars with the little, you can even buy the little labels. So handy. And there's that ice cream pot that I showed you just earlier, and the thermo jug. It's It's very awesome. But this is, we're meant to be talking about plastic, avoiding plastic, but maybe the thermo jug can help you with that as well. Just a sec. And if you haven't seen them, this is a great option for putting your custards that you've made in your Thermomix and yogurts and things. This is a reusable thing. I found this at my local health food shop, and these were really popular when my kids were a little younger. Haven't used them recently, but I might try. And my kids have got these. These are reusable instead of the snap lock bags. These you can close them and they will hold a small amount for little snacks. The tiny teddies could go in there. Excuse me. These ones I also found from my health food shop. So these ones are not on the mix shop, but your child can pop their name on them, and they're little options as well. I think I've shown you most things that you can use. If you're wanting to make butter, instead of buying butter in a plastic container, you can. So we buy, but then you still got the cream container to recycle, but that at least it's a bit, you're buying it in bulk. This one I make butter from cream. I've just I think some of the cashews went down the wrong way. And anyway, so I make the butter all the time, pop it in the butter bell. That is available from the mix shop as well. A little bit of water down the bottom, and that will keep that nice and fresh. What I do then with the remainder is I pop them into a little container, a small one, and I pop it into the freezer. So that is another great thing to do with making. And Mel, did you want to chat further while I have a drink of water?
Yeah, sure, I've got a few things. Yeah, sure. So I've got my lunch bag that just showed you earlier, and the little spray bottle. So I get my olive oil in bulk too. And then, so the first one we didn't put it into another bottle, and we went through 2 litres really quickly. And then I got one of these, and the 2 litres lasted probably twice as long. I love my water bottle. I take that everywhere. And also the silicone molds for the ice creams are really cool. And also I can just smell these Muesli bars are ready. So I'm just going to grab them out and show you. That was like really quick, all that done in this hour, and I don't even know how many serves there are. That's probably maybe 3 boxes of Muesli bars. So that's a fair bit of packaging that you're saving. And just even buying all the seeds and stuff, like I've made at least 4 batches of those things, and I can still probably make another 4 out of the packets I brought. So that's actually condensed what I've brought into so much. So I really like the bulk buying of things. That has helped me. I also find I have a bit more time to think about these things. So you know, even when I did the pre-clean and the Thermomix, I thought, well, I'm saving water with doing the pre-clean, and just using a drop of dishwashing liquid, I'm saving there as well. So there's just savings with additives. And no, before I got a Thermomix, my recycling bin used to be overflowing, and now it's never full, and neither is my bin. So we definitely save a lot on packaging, and just even going to the shops, because you're buying bulk stuff. You don't need to go to the shops as often, so it's saving petrol and the environment and lots of other things. So it just goes to like so many different levels when you think about all the can make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Mel. And that's so true about the petrol and having stuff in bulk ready to go. Then you can make whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah, I find I can make like so many different things with just what's in my pantry now, whereas before I wouldn't be making nearly half the things I even consider making now, and I'm confident in making them because Thermomix has got them right so many times. So yeah, that's just good to have that confidence in what you're doing as well. So
awesome
thing.
Yeah, with those star ratings and things on our recipes, isn't it, Mel? Like, you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be fine if your recipe's got good star ratings. We've got a cookie do info session later on. When is it? I'll email you guys the dates, because if you'd like to learn how to use Cookie Do to find what you're looking for a bit easier, we'll give you a half an hour session on that as well. And I was just showing you the Mix Shop trays, the rose gold trays with the little liners. These are great. I've been keeping them like that, and then that's reducing baking paper, which is awesome. But I think we've given lots of tips, and there's my little bamboo thing, by the way. I mentioned I really like that, and that's, you can put tea, loose tea in. So I'm going to try and buy some more loose tea, and that's a little tea, a bamboo glass tea container. And in winter, you might want to make your soups and things and pop it in a thermos jug. These are available from the Mix Shop as well. I believe they're in stock, hopefully. But I hope you guys have had a great time and picked up a few tips on. And if you'd like to join the challenge with me, I haven't asked if Mel and Tiff are going to do it for the month, because I've only just decided a couple of days ago that I'm going to give it a go. Packet free, don't buy any packets in June. So if you'd like to join as well, head over to our Thermi chat group. It's on Facebook. I'll pop that in the email tomorrow as well, and you could join in the fun. Kylie's just asked, does coconut yogurt set thickly, Jess? Yes, it does, because you use, what do you put in it? I haven't made it in a while. You use a lot of coconut cream, and you put in, what is it?
Xanthan gum?
Xanthan gum. Yeah, you put in some things and it makes it thick. So yeah, I think give it a go, and I'm going to make some more too as well. But thank you everyone for taking time tonight. Thank you to Tiff and Mel. I think Tiff's thing is finished. I hope she likes it. It might be piping hot still.
Piping hot, and then you pour it into jars. I'll have it for breakfast and let you know how it goes.
Great. And at least you know it's healthy with all those eggs in there.
Yeah.
And coconut milk. Thank you so much, Tiff, for joining us today and taking on the second recipe at late notice. And I hope your little boy has a great birthday tomorrow and enjoys his tiny teddy flowers.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody. I'll email you with our upcoming events as well. We have a plant-based event coming up on, I think, Tuesday the 15th. So that will be fun if anyone wants to go to that. But thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you another time. Stay on if you would like to chat about earning yourself a TM6 Thermomix, or if you'd like to ask any further questions, you can stay on. I'll keep it open for another 5 minutes, and we look forward to seeing all of you guys another time. Thank you. Thanks, Gay. Thanks, Dana. Keep warm, I know. I need to put my dressing gown back on. Oh, dear. Let's see. I'm going to stop recording. Stop recording. There we go. Stop recording.